So I was raised in a Christian family, which is a real privilege. And I think the older I get, the more I realise how privileged I was. So I was brought up in a United Reformed Church, so very kind of community orientated. So really, my experience of growing up in the church was that children, young people were valued. It didn't matter about age. The entire church community was involved in running things for the community, in leading worship, in all sorts of things. So it didn't occur to me that people wouldn't grow up in that until I reached a bit of a crisis point when I was doing my exams and things, where my faith just seemed to fall away and I couldn't really put my finger on it. I just didn't believe it anymore. But I couldn't bear to share this with my church community and carried on doing the same things, but it just didn't, I had no relationship with Jesus. I had that incredible Bible knowledge, but it didn't mean anything. And then I went away with a group of friends, just before I went to university, to Soul Survivor, which some of people might know. It doesn't happen anymore, but it was a really huge camp for young people. And it just really resonated. And long story short was that I met with Jesus and the power of the Holy Spirit in really quite a powerful way. And it was as though my eyes were opened. And for me, and I know this isn't everyone's experience, but for me, there was no going back. It was from that moment, I knew that for the rest of my life, my A-levels didn't matter. It was a strange time in a way because I was really called into teaching, but I knew that somehow I had to balance this all up and find a way to follow Jesus as the number one thing. And I think when you've had that kind of experience, it's a bit like Paul on his journey. He didn't sort of set out on the boat with the expectation that he was going to go back again. It's like you land and you get on with it. But the rest of my ministry has been working that out. It's been working out, what I'm called to be in my job as now mum of 3 children, to continue to follow Jesus as the number one thing, to work out ways of listening clearly, to dig deep during the hard times, which we have had. And I think I had a call really when I was doing some youth work, when we were living in Bristol, to always be looking over my shoulder. So, which is a bit of a strange call, but I really felt Jesus say directly, keep looking over your shoulder. If there's no one following you, you need to do something about that, because your calling is also to disciple others. So I think for me, in explaining, I don't think you can be a follower if you don't have people following you. And that's really daunting because imposter syndrome hits in and you never feel good enough, and you never are. But that's kind of the whole point of our faith. You can never, you're always learning from him.